Hey everybody, it's The Shape, and we are on a roll, still consistent, moving on, and you'll want to watch this whole video, I can assure you of that. I love it when you really pull away all the smoke and mirrors and really prove that somebody's staging their videos. By the end of this video, I can prove with 100% accuracy that Lee from Really Haunted uses overlays when he does those Connect skeleton figures. That being said, I often get asked, well, how does he pull off that Alexa? I want you to watch this clip that I got emailed from a friend. See what you think.
Yes.
Lee. 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 Tee-hee. 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 Lee, you have been debunked, Lee. 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 Lee, don't cry, Lee. Lee? Leroy? Leroy, come back. Please. Lee, please don't leave.
Hey, literally shows Alexa whispering and saying anything he wanted her to say. Which I said in the past, you know. But anyway, let's get into the real meat of this video. Oh, it's gonna be a good one. Oh man.
Hey guys, hope you're all well. So the priest has been round today.
Really, Lee? Has the priest been around today? Suppose you're going to show proof of that. But even if you showed a priest in your house walking around, I wouldn't care because it's nonetheless fake. Just because the priest is there doesn't mean anything to me anyways. I heard you was writing a book too, Lee. I heard about it. Let's hope you don't put out, you know, like it's an autobiography. Let's hope you put what it is, which is fiction.
Basically said it's an attachment, which we thought anyway.
You remember in my older videos when I said a YouTuber would have to have an attachment because that's the only way they could account for all the paranormal that happens. That way they can make money off of it. I called that like a bunch of videos ago, and it just so happened, well, it's an attachment. Looks like Lee can profit from it now. Yay. Now, I want to give a shout out. Now, a buddy of mine turned me on to this video. This is his debunk. The main debunk near the end, and it's awesome. Now, this is a hard name to pronounce. Cotan Nietros. That's the guy.
He basically has to put a referral in or something like that. And if that's acted upon, an investigator had come round to prove or disprove the claims.
You better hope an investigator don't come and see all that fake crap you're producing on your channel every 2, 3, 5 times a week. You won't let no real investigator come there, Lee, because nothing's going to happen. They won't catch anything, and it's going to make you look bad. You know that, and I think everybody knows that. I don't understand. It's almost like a cult. Blind leading the blind or something. I mean, it's a good thing Charles Manson didn't have, you know, YouTube back in those days. You convince people that you're this and that, and this is happening, that's happening, and you're an influencer. And you do it to profit, just like Manson. This is the part where that little white speck starts forming, and that is very important on through the video, guys. So once that white speck stays there, I'm gonna now that you've seen that little speck, I'm gonna zoom in on it. It's in the floor. It looks like it's in the floor, but when he moves the camera, the speck moves with it. It stays, no matter how you move the camera, the speck stays in between Lee and the camera. The reason that's important It's because I did a little experiment, and I want to give you the voiceover of what an overlay is. That way I can prove that these skeletons are added in post. Lee, you messed up big time, pal. Now, to show you what an overlay is, I filmed this video right here. And then I took this video and I added some dead pixels. And let me show you the dead pixels. I added a big old red dot. There's the dead pixels. You see that spot right there? You see how I'm behind the dead pixels? Because I exported it and saved it like that. No different than what Lee did. Now, what happens when I take an overlay, which is over there, and I move it to the dead pixels? Watch this. You see how that overlay is in front of the pixels while the original footage is behind? Yes, I hope you understand. Overlays are that easy. And you can be fooled by overlays. But if a speck comes between you and the camera and you don't take that thing out, overlays will show, and they'll show badly. Just like my video, that dot is in the original footage. You see how Lee is behind the dot when he walks in front of it? Now watch it. See how it's on his arm, yet it's behind the skeleton. But it's on his body, which means the dot, and the dot moves with the camera as well. Now the speck is in between, like I showed you in slow motion. It's in between the camera lens and Lee. You can see the speck in front of him. You can see it like when he walks and crosses the speck, it shows up in front of him. Therefore, anything in that room should be behind the speck, just like Lee is. Everything. There's no exceptions. However, watch what happens when one of those skeletons come across that speck. They should be behind it. It should show up on the skeleton like it does Lee. But if it shows up over the speck, that 100% proves it was added in post.
Felt like an orb then on screen. Are you here? Show yourself to me. Come and show yourself.
Now I do love how Lee has that little squirt gun with supposed holy water in it. He's like, pss, 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 pss. Spirits, back off spirits, I shoot you with me holy water.
I worry that if I spray that and it's one of the positive ones, you wouldn't think it'd hurt it.
So good spirits, if you spray them with holy water, it doesn't bother them. It's only the bad spirits. You know, because we all know when you spray something like that, regular tap water in the air like that, and if it just so happens to hit an invisible something that you cannot even see, we know that it hurts. The bad ones.
Can I ask all the positive spirits in this house to gather round me and protect me? I know that you're here, and I know that you don't have as much power as this evil thing. But I really do appreciate everything, because I know you try to help. I've seen it. Even if you can't show yourself on this screen, please be close to me.
Keep your eye on the speck, ladies and gentlemen, that speck in the floor. Now remember, that speck shows up on Lee. So it means the speck is either on the lens or in the software, but either way, it's in between the camera and Lee. Just like everything else in the room, it should be the same way. So this overlay we're getting ready to watch has to show up, that speck should show up in between it and the camera as well. But it don't. Here comes the ultimate test. Now this pink figure should be behind the dot just like Lee, but watch what happens. Boom. Now, let's zoom in, slow it down. Watch what happens when that leg hits that dot. Bam! The skeleton covers the dot, which means it was added in post. Look at that. The visuals don't lie. Yes, you saw that right. 100%. That skeleton hid the dot, which means it was added in post. There's no way around it. Lee can't say anything to dispute it because there's your proof. 100%. That shows that those skeletons are overlays, that they were added after he'd already filmed. They wasn't there while filming. There wouldn't be an overlay if they were there while he filmed. They are overlays.
I see it every night. Them black orbs, them black balls going into my mouth. But they're doing nothing now.
And here comes Mr. Yalla Skeleton. Now let's zoom in on Yalla Skeleton's hand. Check this out. Oh, the dot disappears. That means it's an overlay. And you saw the Yalla Skeleton cover those dead pixels, that little white spot. That means it's an overlay as well. You know, I almost wonder what's going to happen when Lee crosses it again near the end of it, you know, near the tail end of the video. If he's, you know, if he's still behind those dead pixels, if that spot shows up on him, he's completely 100% debunked. Now after the yellow stick figure, watch old Lee boy here. He walks over in front of the dot. Except he's not an overlay, which means the dot will appear in front of him instead of him covering the dot up. Come on, Lee. Walk over there. Come on, Lee. Prove us right. Here he goes, ladies and gentlemen. Here he goes, ladies and gentlemen. Bum-ba-dum. Yes, you saw that right. Proof again that it's an overlay. Did you catch it? Did you see it? Huh? Did you? Good thing for you, I have a tendency to slow it down, zoom it in, and do voiceovers. Let's really look into this crap. Now, let's look at Lee Boy do it again. There's the dot in between the camera and him, like on the lens. See? There it is. I mean, who can argue with this? You see it with your own eyes. Well, I mean, who could argue with what I just presented to you? Even the people that hate me cannot argue with what I just showed. You can't. He is busted. Those are overlays. This proves they are 100% overlays. 100%. Nobody can argue. And here's another instance of him being in, you know, the dot being in front of him. We can do this all day long, ladies and gentlemen. Well, like I said, people can say whatever they want, but the evidence, when it's put right in front of your face, like I just did, there's no arguing with it. You can't argue with it. You can't debate it. I just showed you, proved it. Lee, you messed up big time, pal. I knew you would leave something like that in there. But hey, guys, that's what we're here to do. I love it. This makes me love it even more. Oh man. Anyway, I wanted to put this video out because, well, comment below just how awesome it was. Oh, the secret word in this video will be breaker box. Anyway, I love you guys and I appreciate all you do, and I'll see you in the next video. Y'all come back now. You hear?